and dying in your beds many years from now, would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom?
All right. Welcome, everybody. Hey, this is Vince. I'm sitting in for Josh for Anti-Tyranny News Radio. He's going to take a little vacation this week. So welcome, everybody in chat. I see a few of some good folks there. Jackson, Colby, and Chuck, and several others. So, anyways, tonight's topic of discussion is perpetuating propaganda, and that is dominating the public perception and how that affects societal control. Now, I really set myself up for a doozy here because, well, I got 2 hours of radio in front of me. I've done filled in a little bit this weekend, and I think eventually we get kind of overload, but hopefully I'm going to do a pretty good job at this, at least adequate. I got my friend over here with me. He's going to sit in and here in a little bit and add in some and show him a little guitar when I get so flustered I don't know which way to go. Give me a chance to get my thoughts back underway. Hey, Joe. Welcome, brother. So, anyways, welcome again to UCY.TV. I'm your host, Vince Easley, from What Matters Worldwide here on UCY.TV on Thursday nights. And like I said, I am filling in for Josh, and there went something. That's my cousin, actually. I can tell by the ring. Well, I'll call you back, Chuck. That's an old car. Stop. Okay. So, anyways, it is an honor to sit in for Josh. He is an inspiration for me. He comes in here. Used to be 3 times a week, and now he's on Wednesdays and Fridays, and he sits here and gives a good expose of the world about us, and so I'm honored that he asked me to sit in, and hopefully I can live up to his expectations, and certainly won't be able to fill his shoes because he's got some pretty big shoes to fill. Howdy, Captain. Welcome, Captain Gringo. Good to have y'all here. So, in the fashion of Anti-Tyranny, I salute you all, and big shout out and fire in the hole for tonight's safety meeting. Let me move my mic right here for a moment. A little closer, if you'll excuse the banging. I was going to move positions, but I think I'll just stay right here. So, about tonight, what we're going to talk about. The world we live in today. Warming up, are you, Jax? Okay, so the world we live in today, though, we really have only one option as far as trade and energy, medicine, food, and as far as every aspect of life. There's a monopoly that controls this world, and of course you might argue that there's been these forces throughout history that have attempted to, control and dominate the world. Most certainly that's a fact. Now, whether we can trace that, excuse me just a moment. Okay, sorry about that. Whether we can trace these connections to a conspiracy that extends through the ages is arguable, but I think a person might make a case for that. But we'll focus within the past 100 years or so anyways, and take a look at it from that angle. So, again, perpetuating propaganda and control of public perception. It used to that people were generally controlled strictly by force. They had the king's agents, whatever you want to call them, through different types of, times in history and stuff. There's been different controlling factions. So no matter who or what they were, we're looking at agencies of state that control the actions of people, legislate morality, say what you can eat, what you can't eat, and this goes back for sometimes. What can you drink, what can't you drink, what color Kool-Aid you want. I think we got a lot of the FD&C number 3.5 blue. I think that's the color. What they make the blue pill with? Or are we supposed to be taking a red pill? Hey, Missy, welcome. Glad to have you in chat and listening in. So there was the, and today we also see how it's manipulated. If there's a country that doesn't want to play ball, they bring sanctions against them. So when the use of force began to be less effective, though, it seems that there was a concerted effort to really move to control the minds of people. Especially here in the U.S., we see people like Edward Bernays. So if we were to trace the origins and the needs to control the masses by those who are supposed to be the smart guys, that's something that Noam Chomsky, who I did a little listening to here and hadn't listened to any of his stuff in probably maybe 3 years, probably, I guess. But anyways, man, he really stuck out as a socialist apologist, perhaps, to me, in some review these last couple of days. But anyway, so he goes on to say that, I'll back up, to trace the origin of the need to control the masses by those supposed to be the smart guys, having the notion or the belief that most people are not to be trusted to be involved in decisions concerning the day-to-day operations of the world, and couple that with the political field and how economics tie government policy together, which is the corporatocracy, and we basically see three pillars that head this: the corporations, banks, and government. Now, this ties in. Let's discuss how this does tie in. Well, the corporatocracy, basically what the government became was a corporation. Some topics we discussed, I have previously, that is the 1871 Act and the further amendments past the 10th and so forth. But anyway, so the United States became the United States as opposed to States United of America. Way back when, in the latter part of the 1800s, became a corporation. There would be those that argue that, well, there needs to be a means in which to affect the governance and, to have this body, how then that it could operate in cohesion with those that are involved in that serve. So, that's okay. Well, perhaps you do need some order in day-to-day operations. But the fact is that it does not operate in the interest of the people and certainly not in the interest of the people of the world. It operates in accordance with policies by such think tanks as that like those brought about by the report from Iron Mountain. We see groups like the Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations, world policy. As I said, we've got the International Monetary Fund, the IMF Bank, and the system of reward is the dollar, and that really misses that which is needed, is that which sustains and nourishes the people of the world. So their idea is this, or what they tell everybody they're all about, is alleviating poverty and world hunger and so forth. And when we take a look at agents of these agencies or figureheads and so forth, what we really see is as a move towards total global governance and population reduction. The claim is made that there's not enough resources, but man, is that way off? And I've made this point before that the world's population, if you took everybody and I did the numbers at I think 5 billion some 20 odd years ago, and stack them in the Grand Canyon, you'd only dam one end of the canyon, 10 miles across, a mile deep, and some few hundred feet wide. There's not a problem with population. It appears there is, and we've got the cities overspilling with their filth and all that stuff. Who wants to live in a city, right? Well, some people are, they have to, because that's where they make their living, which is sad, because again, toiling for that dollar, toiling away, and it's just paper. I mean, come on. And even if you take and consider using gold as the base, well, that ain't nothing but some metal in the ground. Kind of ridiculous in so many ways. So much. Now, everybody here has heard this, of course, from Smedley the Butler, that war is a racket. And it has been used as an enforcement policy for quite a while. The use of the velvet glove or the iron fist. And most don't see each crisis in the big picture as the same old, okay? All right. Hawk, you caught my attention here. Right. Where are these resources, 7.2 billion people? All right, I'll come back to you. Remind me. Hold on. Where was that? Yeah. The velvet glove or the iron fist. Yeah, this has been used mostly in manipulating heads of states. You'll notice repeatedly throughout recent history. Certainly within the past 50 years, if somebody didn't want to play ball, they'd go in there and say, look, we need your support in this, we need your vote here and you in, or we need you to assign your national resources to this corporation, so forth and so on. If a person didn't agree, then of course then came a bribe. Well, look here, this is going to happen with or without you. Now you can take this money, or as my friend here said, and that I heard before, that's lead or gold.
La pluma la plata.
La pluma o la plata, right? So, yeah, and then, a little of this information that I'd be quoting in would be from the economic hitman, and this guy, which, whether you question him, it's like maybe a guy on death row, repenting and claiming he got Jesus in his life now, or even just if he's in prison, I got Jesus and for the parole warden to let him out. How sincere is anybody? I can't say, but nonetheless, this economic Walter, perfect, love it, brother, great radio, and James, look, wow, Mr. James Jinks, some greats of radio right here. Thanks, guys. So, and Walter, and Chuck too. Look, we got a lot of hosts in here, and some people that are highly intelligent here in chat. So, if you're listening downstream, be sure to come back to UCY. Yes, please, Walter, ask a question. Which act made the USA a corporation? It's the Act of 1871. I'm certain I can find the link for you. Let's see. Ties together really what was that, the 14th or 15th minute amendment. I could go pull up that information. I have it all archived back for review. But generally the 1871 Act, Walton, you might do a search on that and see if that does not really tie it together. I've done other shows on that and linking some of that together. So I have a pretty good link source of that, but it would take me about 3 to 4 minutes to go find it. So I guess I won't look right now. I'll leave that to you to search. Now, so where am I? Oh, who was I listening to the other day? And they were citing some sources. The Class of Civilization by Samuel Huntington and The End of History by Francis Fukuyama. These guys are obviously apologists, I would say, for the New World Order, or the Old World Order, more closely. Okay, so I'm trying to read and talk, and I can't hardly do that. Hogg says, big time rig, thousands of different opinions to read. Okay. Act of 1871. Number. Sorry, Walter, I don't have that right in front of me. And I'd get lost, even more lost trying to find it. But I will gather some information for you later and bring that all to you. So, wow, only 15 minutes out of 2 hours? Well, I'm not out of nothing yet. Actually, well, if I don't knock my computer over, I did have a little bit of reading to probably look at. There you go. I didn't mean to do that. Hit the wrong button. Hold on just a minute. Hey, you wanna? Oh, you're right in the middle of that. I was gonna say, you wanna strum something while I collect my gather my guineas here. So my friend here is gonna play a little guitar. Whoa.
Maybe.
So I have a message. Okay, here's some music. Stand by. Go for it. Well, Walter, I am scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It's way down this page I have just for storing information, and it's way down here. But I'm going to keep scrolling. Maybe I can key in just a minute. Well, I have another link pulled up that I was going to talk about. Bernays propaganda, which really set the stage for how information is presented for the people to consume, right? I think this is going to be a long scroll because this was many months ago. Oh, I could actually go to an event page that I created. I'm going to have to leave off on finding that information for now on 14th Amendment. Let me pop back over to chat just for a second, and I'll go back over here and read some from 1928 History as a Weapon. Okay. Hey, Dal. Welcome, brother. And Geo, look at who is here. I know which act. There is no act. Sorry, Walter. Perhaps this might be a topic that you and I might look into together. Sorry, I'm backing up. Wait a minute. I think Hawk might have posted it, but I don't know about Sipper or Serendipity. I'll come back to that. I'll scroll back down. Yeah, Colby posted a number. Call in. You're welcome to call in, or I can add you by Skype, and we can search this out a little bit if you want to, Solvner. 1-718-717-8296, or if you're my Skype contact, I can add you there. Vincent.Easley2, the number 2. That is Vincent Easley II, and also Roman numerals. So, anyways, I'm trying to catch up with y'all guys here in chat. I think I'm completely just derailed now. I think Chuck O'Celli from the Celli Effect is helping me out here. I love Walter, man. He really causes my brain to engage in questioning what it is I think I'm thinking or trying to say. I'm still working on this heater too. Anywho, y'all call. You're welcome to come on in if you'd like. So, this is a little bit of a topic backing up, this propaganda deal that Walter and I had started last Saturday, at least in pursuing this and this discussion, and that's why I'm really continuing today. Also, in the spirit of anti-tyranny news. If you're anti-tyranny, you kind of have to have a definition of what the tyranny is, or at least who they are. I have a link I need to go back to, posted by Gringo in chat. Looked pretty promising. I was able to scan just a little bit of it, so perhaps we'll go back to there. Normally, I don't read links in articles or play clips or anything like that, but like I said, among the people that inspire me here at UCY, Josh is one of them, and we've got some of the fellows here listening too, some of the big guys here. JJ, of course, always first props goes to him. Big love, brother. And Walter, you're there too. Weekends are great here on UCY, all through the week, but especially the weekend. So anyways, if you're not a regular listener, I hope you will come on back to UCY.tv and give some folks a listen over here. And I think my odor went out. Hard to hit and talk. So anyways, History as a Lesson was written in 1928, propaganda by Edward Bernays. And consumerism ties in real closely to this. The American business community was also very impressed with the propaganda effort. They had a problem at that time. The country was becoming formally more democratic. And so these are the first couple of sentences out of that. And in fact, now there's a lot of people are going to try to tie this into, and separate this communism, capitalism, and all these other false paradigms. But there was a movement, and we saw after the world wars and stuff like with Italy, people were, in some parts were, like saying, hey, we're kicking out the bosses out of the factory, and we're going to make this work for us. And then just like every other time right now in history and in past, we see COINTEL come in and redirect and move the minds of the people, and this is all propaganda, okay? So, although some people might say unions are a communist deal or whatnot, the fact is that we find probably in most things, most movements and so forth, we find some type of good, and so that's what we got to look for and explore that, and not just focus on saying, they're dadgum communists, For me personally, I like to take a look at as many aspects as I can and have a little, I don't know, just I think it makes for a better observation, better formulating opinion. Well, let's see where it would be. Here's Chomsky quote in here. Oh, that was him saying this about the American business community. So I'm just going to go ahead and read this intro then from him. A lot more people were able to vote and that sort of thing. The country is becoming wealthier and more people could participate. And a lot new immigrants were coming in and so on. Oh, I've got that topic too in some notes here to cover. That was from my cousin Chuck back in Texas. Okay. The message was, you heard? I ought to call him and we'll put him on speaker. Yeah. I answered the phone with other people, like back in Arkansas. Some good friends knew I was on radio. I want to try to mess with me, and I said, "You're live on radio," and they hung up. So we're leaving off the new immigrants. So what do you do? He asked. It's going to be harder to run things as a private club. Therefore, you obviously have to control what people think. There had been public relations specialists, but there was never a public relations industry. There was a guy hired to make Rockefeller's image look prettier and that sort of thing, but this huge public relations industry, which is a U.S. invention and a monstrous industry, came out of the First World War. The leading figures were people in the Creel Commission. In fact, the main one, Edward Bernays, comes right out of the Creel Commission. He has a book that came out right afterwards called Propaganda. The term propaganda, incidentally, did not have a negative connotations in those days. It was during the Second World War that the term became taboo because it was connected with Germany. All those bad things. But in this period, the term propaganda just meant information or something like that. So he wrote a book called Propaganda about 1925, and it starts off by saying he is applying the lessons of the First World War. The propaganda system of the First World War, and this commission that he was a part of showed, he says, it is possible to regiment the public mind every bit as much as an army regiments their bodies. These new techniques of regimentation of minds, he said, had to be used by the intelligent minorities in order to make sure that the slobs stay on the right course. Of course, because we're all so stupid and don't even deserve self-determination or free will. Okay. Continuing. We can do it now because we have these new techniques. Lies? All lies? No, it's true. I tell you, it's all true. Listen to me, Johnny. This is the main manual of public relations industry. Continuing. Bernays is kind of the guru. He was an authentic Roosevelt Kennedy liberal. He also envisioned the public relations effort behind the U.S. back coup, which overthrew the democratic government of Guatemala. His major coup, the one that really propelled him into fame in the late 1920s, was getting women to smoke. Hey, if you ain't smoking, you ain't cool. Women didn't smoke in those days, and he ran huge campaigns for Chesterfield. That's what I started smoking, was Chesterfield, 45 cents a pack. I swore I'd quit when it hit $1. Oh man, I've paid over $10 a pack. Ain't that a shame? And that's all goes to of course, taxes, the big majority. So continuing, all the techniques, models and movie stars with cigarettes coming out of their mouths and that kind of thing. He got on enormous praise, and so he became a leading figure of the industry, and his book was The Real Manual, and that comes quoting from Noam Chomsky. What makes mainstream media mainstream? A talk at Z Media Institute, June 1977. So of course we'll not read all this, but Chapter 1 is organizing chaos, and Chapter 2 is the new propaganda. Chapter 3 is the new propagandists. Chapter 4, the psychology of public relations. So this is all, I'll bring this over to you in just a moment to chat. Chapter 5, business, that's get you business, all right, business and the public. And this is a lot of reading. I've got another message. I'll repeat that one. Propaganda and political leadership. So I think a study will really expose how well this all ties together in the world that we exist and live in today. So here's Chapter 7 is women's activities in propaganda. So I guess that might have been part of the smoking and burning your bra. Okay, I'm all for the bra burning. Propaganda for education. Propaganda in social service now. Boy, we could cite a lot of that. Art and science, that's Chapter 9. Or that must have been 10. Chapter 11 is mechanics of propaganda. Let's read some of that. The media, by which special pleaders transmit their message to the public through propaganda, include all the means by which people today transmit their ideas to one another. Written in 1928, remind you, now is that not as just as applicable to today, excuse me, as I stutter, as it was then. There is no means of human communication which may not also be a means of deliberate propaganda. Oh, by the way, propaganda pen is kind of my little handle I hung some years back on myself when I started discussing all this information. But the simple fact is hey, we're all trying to get somebody to listen to us, and so is it propaganda? I mean, do we take deliberate means of conveying our message? I think so. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, can we not help be but prejudiced, in what it is that we're trying to say? Because obviously we're saying something because we have some sort of notion that this is true and must be of some importance. Unless, of course, we're being deceptive and we have another agenda. So, anyways. So, continuing, because propaganda is simply the establishing of reciprocal understanding between an individual and a group. The important point of the propagandist is that the relative value of the various instruments of propaganda and their relation to the masses are constantly changing. If he is to get full reach for his message, he must take advantage of these shifts of value the instant they occur. Never let a crisis go to waste. So I'm going to copy this link and grab it and bring it on over here and see if I can catch up with everybody in chat. Get X'd out. Click. Hello, Geo. And paste. Now, I need to back up here just a minute. If anybody wants to call in, I'm welcome. I'll tell you what, I'm going to call in so I can move about. Excellent. And then I'll be delayed just a moment. I need to make a off the back porch stop. Okay, sorry about that, yes. I'm ringing. I also want to get something to drink. Oh, I got a little shot of water left. Here I am. Okay, I'm going to add me to the group and mute me.
Okay, great. Here I am. So I think I'll just kind of take a little change of direction here as I step out here on the porch. It's nice out here in the desert. Not so windy. Anyways, some things talked about immigration and what's going on with this move along the border here. I don't know, but personally, I think fence is a fence in and that fence people out. Hard on. Sorry about the interruption. I just shut the water off. It was running out there. Okay, so I'm back. But I'm going to talk about something. Now, I'm going to go back over to the chat, catch it up, and then I'll recollect my thoughts. And redirect. Yeah. Okay. And so, nothing but that about some very fat-headed mayor, I think. All right, well, let me go back and pull something up for you. Oh, man, I have to go all the way down there looking for that. I go all the way down there. Let's see. This is one from El Gringo. I did read a little bit about it here, but anyways, this is called a transcript of Anti-Illuminati interview, and that was from Corbett Reports. And let's see if I can find what I found of interest here. Okay, here we go. The global architects are producing a movie that's constantly under revision with the planet as a stage. And that refers to the quote from Shakespeare, all the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players. So, okay, where did I lost my place? I'll start again. The global architects are producing a movie that's constantly under revision with the planet as the stage and the world's populace, the audience. And then witting actors in this interview, Anti-Illuminati reveals spoilers to the movie. Where are we at? Oh, well, I lost the importance of that. I think I'll go back to talking. My eyes are hurting from the reading. Here's my notes. I'm going to review them this week. On immigration. Yeah, that's right. Here we go. We've heard that Reagan, he says, tear down that wall, Mr. Gorbachev. Well, I mean, Mr. Obama. So we want to build these fences. Watch. This is where I was coming to this, was we see this overwhelming at the border by all these children, and Jules was talking about it this morning. So I was considering some of the ramifications of that. Now, are they going to be so overwhelmed that, and I forget where I got this from, but somebody said Iranians, that was in chat this morning, Iranians with sombreros. That might have been Ham. Yeah. really, I mean, considering coming in perhaps to set off some dirty bombs or something. Who knows? And or it could even be blamed upon Iranians that after some event may have happened, and then we got to go nuke them, of course, because that always works. We see events that have been orchestrated in history that governmental agencies, these ABC agencies, they're facilitating crimes all the time. Here's a good possibility that I was talking about this morning, or I was being discussed with me that is this morning. What if they set up some teams of some snipers? Like some terrorists, and they was like, take a couple of shots every few days or weeks or whatever in cities. Yeah, like those guys in D.C. Man, they could kind of shut the country down. There's all types of possibilities. There, like I said, the dirty suitcase bomb. We're probably just from past experience and history and seeing how the powers that be operate. We're probably most certainly going to see some of this stuff in our near future. So, okay, another note. So DARPA and video game connections and the human disconnect. That was being talked about this morning also. People aren't so much willing, to kill firsthand. Also in our conversation this morning here personally was the fact that like, the difference of, hey, you want to talk about this, Terry, about the, like the airline pilots and, how they're not so connected as the man that stabbed that guy in the ear, cuts his throat, or puts a bullet in his head.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about that earlier, about it's different for the airplane pilot.
Don't hang it up.
I'll hang it up. Because he's detached from what he's doing because he can't see who he's putting down on the ground. He's dropping bombs from 12 to 30,000 feet, and he doesn't feel or see, he's not there, he doesn't feel the impact of the rifle butt as he pulls the trigger, he doesn't see the guy fall over, so it's easier on him than it is for the guy on the ground that can suffer from PTSD from being down there and seeing this happen. Is what we were talking about earlier in the day. So, other than that, I don't know how much more I could elaborate on.
Okay, give me a second to catch my breath and grab me a cool drink out of the refrigerator. Let me show you pop. I drink a lot of poison now and then. And got a cigarette. It's another good poison going through. Yeah. But I do have the cure in the remedy right beside me as well. No, Coca-Cola. So I have a Coke in the small one. Shit the F on. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Let me transfer. You
and come back and unmute me here. So, wait a minute. Put you on hold. Okay. So I'm on mute and unmuted. I have on speaker and on hold and speaking to you simultaneously. And that's a trick in itself. Okay. Did I run Walter off because I didn't answer the 16th Amendment or 15th Amendment in Act of 1871? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Who's the troll? Captain Gringo. If you're still here, Walter, I'm going to go. It's a real easy search, 16th Amendment, 15th Amendment, Act of 1871. I guess it is subjective to interpretation because you've really got to read very closely into that. Who's a good source here? You can find it on YouTube. Like I said, I've covered this in past. So, we got the Ku Klux Act passed by Congress, whatever that is. Okay, so really, I think my best bets go back to the sources that I previously previewed. I mean, so X that out. Now let me go back to here's the topic. Doty posted this earlier today. Battlefield USA American Police Excessively Militarized UCLU Study. Excuse me. Okay, I will read some of this once it gets cycled there. Okay, there it goes. Inheriting both the weapons. Did I start at the midstream? No, I guess not. Inheriting both the weapons and the mindset of the U.S. military, police are becoming militarized and hyper-aggressive in their approach to maintaining security on the streets of America. New study calls on police not to treat people as wartime enemies. The tragic story, well, let's see. I guess we'll forego the tragic story. Yeah. Anyways, it talks about SWAT unit raided a number of residents in the neighborhood, turning up nothing more than a small bag of marijuana. Oh, what was that? Where was that? Heck, cops were just going to do some door-to-door searches, without warrants and stuff somewhere. Oh, I forget. But anyways, yeah. So going back into the control, talking about how we are controlled. Militarization of the police. People are going to become more and more fearful. But that's basically what we're seeing is a lot of cops or people being recruited to be in police coming back from military duty, and they have that mindset, right? Yeah, and this just begs the question, man. If America's so great. And it's been showed that we're not number one in so many things. So we're living on this false pride, first of all, here. And we assume that, our government is benevolent. They have our best interest in mind.
Who told you that?
Yeah. Well, I think that that is the propaganda is every day, is that America's great and we're doing great things for the world.
Of course.
We bought...
That's what they say.
Right?
They have to.
Bombing democracy.
It goes back to La Pluma La Capata.
Yeah.
We'll give you all the charity that you deserve and that you need, just as long as you support us in the decisions that we want you to make.
That's it, exactly. So, what are we doing, man? We're bombing these countries. There's boasts such as, nuking them and turning them into a glass parking lot, bombing them back into the Stone Age and so forth. That, man, wouldn't it be a whole lot cheaper to drop tractors or, food or, well drilling equipment or,
agricultural equipment?
All that sort of thing. If we really wanted to develop and, like the IMF's supposed policy of, alleviating the poor. Come on. I call BS, right? That's nothing but horse turds, man. that ain't what they're about. They're about furthering the agenda of the machine, the beast that runs the world. Hey, suck on tit or just get ground up in the gears, man. If you ain't on board, you're done. We just see that. See it all the time as far as how policy works. So I just really think people need to start setting aside what it is that they think is truth or their belief and all that stuff. Some things are logically, exploration, discussion, and discovery of what's out there requires that we approach this logically, and that's something that I try to do more and more. And thanks again, Walter, with the using reasoning, rhetoric, and logic, the trivium. So some things are unprovable logically, and then you enter into the realm of faith, and that's something that is not seen. So you can't use faith as an argument, and you can't beg questions and use fallacies in discussions. There's things that are absolutely immeasurable and obvious that that somebody's here. Excuse me. Pardon. I'm running out of wind here, I think. Good, Jax. When he's king, they won't have that problem, he says to Geo. What is that problem? I don't know if I want to read that. Well, I mean, that's a right to self-determination, to live where you want and associate with those that you would care to associate with. Yeah, very good point, Captain Gringo. Kenneth!
Over here.
Nobody pulled up there? Did you
just hear somebody on the road? They must have pulled up, turned
pulled
around
up.
the driveway or something.
Okay. It ain't the police, and Dave's not here.
That's right.
Okay. So Desert Hawk adds, hey, you want to strum the guitar? No problem, Jax. Looks like music.
Touch song. Sidetracked there.
Yeah, I did too. Okay, how about some phone calls from somebody? Anybody want to add in? Man, seems like I've run out about 45 minutes. I did pretty good. I'll have to run out of notes. I'll have to redirect, but I would like somebody to weigh in, if you'd like to. Let me see here. So, in summary, if we're going to be Americans, let's be Americans. So, Yeah. Man, I spent a lot of time on this. I can't believe my brain has hit the wall. Big one ice fishing. 8 hawks. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am, at one point what I had in mind was doing like segments of different categories, if you would. Excuse me. Trying to click some links up there. Oh, hey. Super big shout out to Off-Grid Journey on Sundays now here on UCY. Third episode just aired last Sunday. And in honor of Drew, who's also on Double Crossed Radio, who follows What Matters Worldwide on Thursdays, which that's following the Coachella Effect. I'm going to do with my friend here, we're going to talk about some off-grid, that some projects he has, and the power, the solar system he has, and discuss how, you move that power and from solar power into batteries and through an inverter and back to use. So, excuse me, that's going to be tomorrow night. Now, I've kind of stuck myself in here to 2 hours tonight, 2 hours tomorrow night, and 2 hours Friday night, which I can't hardly talk for half an hour, it seems. And anyways, I think Jose will probably be in the second hour, but tomorrow, Terry and I are going to do the hour, and then Friday, I'll figure that out when it comes. Anyway, some...
Next thing you know, we'll be having a comedy act.
Yeah.
Dog and pony show.
Ooh, I like dogs and ponies.
I like ponies.
So I have or am involved with several Facebook pages, and I kind of have a theme, a matters of theme, and also like these little character kind of themes. And here's one that I like a lot. It's Charlie Kim's Trail Report, and it's supposed to be a play on words for chemtrails, and also relates to everything that is to do with fracking, geoengineering, cancer industry, and on and on. About, see, this probably needs to edit. Geo and genetic engineering, SAS, GMOs, HES, nuclear industry, weapons and radiation, fracking, fluoride, pesticides, and chem weapons, chemo, cancer, big pharma, vaccines, heart, and mostly so on and so forth from that. So this is one of the pages where I drop links that where I can categorize stuff. I gave up on anything to do with thinking that these pages are going to make some kind of difference. Wonder when did I start this? Started it in 2013, so I've had at least a year. 94 likes on this page, which I don't try to promote and stuff like I did when I first started out. Right, 100 likes on some pages, and then you get 2 or 3 people see a post. F you, Facebook. You suck. You want people to pay. So I'll just read some headlines off some posts I'm hearing. This was one from yesterday. How the medical mafia maintains its monopoly. Pharmaceutical industry does not create cures; they create customers. Boy, is that not right? Here's one from Burston Henry from Truther Talk that I posted over here, and this is a link from YouTube on Suzanne Humphries, Humphries, on vaccines. You can search this that there. If you want to listen to her on YouTube, but a summary is those of us who actually notice the science is not backing up the vaccination, those of us who notice that people are being maimed and killed by vaccinations, those of us who experienced our own vaccine damage are categorically thought to be mad, despite the fact that we've actually studied it. None of my colleagues in the past studied vaccines, yet they still think that the sound bites that they've heard over and over the years about vaccines being safe and effective trumped any book knowledge that I may have attained and tried to discuss with them. It's baffling. It's like the minds have been sucked into this paradigm so deeply. Ooh, sounds something like propaganda. Condition that mind. Go on, let's see what else she has to say. And it's not just the minds of these doctors, but it's the safety net. And it's a comfort zone. And it's the rewards that they're getting as a result of all they're doing, and their rewards are not watching people get healthy. The rewards are money, monetary, that is, and the rewards are power. That's it. It's money and it's power. And thank you for Burston Henry for your post, and that was Suzanne Humphreys, MD. And that was a quote from her on the International Medical Council on vaccination. And let me just go grab that and I'll drop the link over here to y'all in chat. Bam. That's the title. Uh-oh, wait, yeah. Oh, it did post, good. Refill, says Desert Hawk. Okay. Back to Charlie Kim's Trail Report. Oh, how nice. 4 people reached. Verston says, "You're welcome, Charlie. Keep up the good fight."
Fight the good fight, Precious.
Remember, we like our Charlie with good taste. And not that he tastes good. Okay, here is a report shared by Mr. Charlie Kim, a.k.a. Vince Easley, Propaganda Panda. Comes from Dane Wigington, and this is radio frequency assault on planet Earth's life support system. Opening in a new tab. Copy. I'll bring it over and drop the paste here. And we'll go back and look at a little bit of what Dane has to say. Dane Wigington, Geoengineering Watch, right here on Saturdays on UCY.tv. Invite you all in for a listen for certain. Okay. Let me have a swallow here. Hold on. Radio frequency assault on planet Earth's life support system. June 22nd, 2014. This is from Dane Wigington. The clouds reveal an otherwise silent, lethal, and constant assault on our biosphere. The extra low frequency radio waves that are continually bombarding the entire planet can be seen and easily recognized in cloud formations. Let me pause just a moment. Terry, what do you know about chemtrails before I pointed it out to you here a couple of months ago?
Absolutely nothing.
Did you ever give any thought, consideration to what the clouds, the skies above us were looking like?
No, not really. I was kind of too airheaded anyway to think about it.
So, it's not something that you hear discussed?
No, I hadn't heard anything about it or anything about geoengineering or, weather control or anything like that. And, it makes sense to me. It still remains to be seen whether, they're doing it intentionally or what they're trying to accomplish. That I have no idea. And haven't made up my mind on the subject at this point.
But on observation, after reflection...
after having had heard somebody say something about it, I see that these contrails from the jets that we see going overhead are actually turning into clouds rather than just evaporating in a normal way. They used to just evaporate a few thousand yards behind the airplane as it went through at about 35,000 feet, or 32,000, and they would evaporate. Now they're all the way across the sky, and they turn into clouds.
Right.
And some days it gets pretty hazy.
Now, I racked my brain and tried to think of, now, didn't I see some kind of long trails back in, the 70s when I was a kid, laid out there in the yard, on my back looking up the sky. And, I recall vaguely sometimes trails might have been just a little bit longer than most of them were, which were nothing much more than a dot on the plane just evaporating right as it came out, but mostly. But today we see them persist and spread and actually join with others and make at least a kind of a whitishness to the sky, and then many times actually form the formation of clouds. And in my opinion is that true clouds are very rarely seen today. So what is the purpose? If they're not being put down on purpose, and this is just a consequence of planes flying around, then by default they're engineering the weather, and it can't be good, right? Or can it? Maybe we need a little more, or a little less.
Need a little more reflection and stuff back into space right now.
Maybe that's their thinking. They're trying to help us.
I think they're trying to help us, but
maybe they ruined some things and
they're trying to fix that.
Fix it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. But I don't think
these guys couldn't fix the wheels on a miscarriage.
Yeah, pretty bad. Well, so I'll continue from Dane Wigington. Okay, so these ELF radio waves are continually bombarding the entire planet and can be seen and easily recognized in cloud formations. A threat posed to the entire web of life from these frequencies cannot be overstated. My thanks to those who put together the 6-minute video below. The footage is exceptional, compelling, and shocking. The total hindrance of Earth's life support system can and is pushing us all over the edge. It's time to make our collective voices heard. Climate engineering must be exposed and halted, or we'll soon enough have nothing left to salvage of our own once thriving planet. Dane Wigington for geoengineeringwatch.org. Thank you. Here's a I'll read one response. Observer says on June 25th of 2014 at 9:49 p.m. What has happened? What has happened are all the GMOs, poisonous additives, mercury, fluoride, RFS, EMFs, ETC, etc.
I can spell like that.
Yeah. A, B, C, have had a cumulative effect on us as human beings. Their early effort is to dumb us down, including vilifying iodine necessary for our mental and physical strength, and all the nuclear bomb testing, along with the proliferation of nuclear power plants, cell phones, and toxic diet. Most people no longer possess the energy or brains to identify and battle the evils. This is a really good comment. This is exactly what they want, to fully grasp the origins and to fully grasp the origins of this atrocity is also necessary to study what is occurring in Fukushima now. See Fukushima Diaries also. Boom, somebody. All these nefarious events and programs are synchronized for our total subjugation. Wow, that's really good, Observer. Very good point, and so well ties into discussion for tonight. Let me see. Here's from Global Chemtrails Global Skywatch, live from the 90s. I actually I've forgotten what this was, but I think this is from Russ right here. Yeah. So y'all got Global Skywatch. This is Russ. I'm going to come grab that and bring it over to you. It's a group on Facebook for anybody that's in Facebook. This is Russ Tanner, also from Geoengineering Watch, here live on Saturdays on UCY.tv. So there's that. I dropped you earlier Dane's webpage. He's also on Facebook. Find him, Dane Wigington, and geoengineeringwatch.com or .org. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, Captain. I was hoping you was going to call, but if you're going to bail, audio then. Well, okay. So those are some reports from Charlie Kim and his trail report. Here's another page. This comes from my Matters of theme, and this is Matters of Sustainable Living through Permaculture, Ecology, and Gardening. So related links. Here's a pretty cool one. This is from my post from Green Renaissance's photo on June 21st. Refrigerate foods without using electricity. This mode of refrigeration goes back at least 5,000 years. It uses a porous outer earthenware pot lined with wet sand, contains an inner pot which can be glazed to prevent penetration by the liquid within the food, which is placed within for the food. The evaporation of the outer liquid draws heat from the inner pot. The device can be used to cool any substance. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll
have to try that. You can use a flower pot.
Yeah, exactly.
And glaze the inside of it.
Here, I'll grab this link. I have to open it up. Oh, it's from Wikipedia for all you Wikipedia fans. So, here it is. Put that in your pot and smoke it.
There we go.
Or put your pot in that and smoke it. Or put your pot in your pot. Yeah, in your pot. Yes, Desert Hot, Facebook. Hey, I guess you missed your ride. So, okay, back. Matters of Sustainable Living. Hey, look, it's almost 4:20 on the Pacific Coast.
A whole hour inside?
4:12.
Wow.
Y'all get ready. We have a safety meeting coming up in 8 minutes. Remind you of the upcoming safety meeting. Oh, see, this is really nice. One person reached. And this was my shared post of Off-Grid Journey on UCY. Sundays, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Exploring self-sufficient living. This was a great episode. Well, there's been 3. I've been there for all 3. They're great. Awesome. So, in this episode, Drew Lamb, episode 2, I'm sorry. So this wasn't last Sunday. This is Sunday before. Episode 2, pin parameter, hidden cordon gardens. So they joined Drew to talk about wild mountain gardening and extreme homesteading. Then Devin Martin, that's Dana Martin's son. That was a pretty good show too. Dana was on last Sunday with Drew and another guest. So they were talking. Devin was talking about his experience of unschooling and working with. He built him a forge and is doing some blacksmithing. And he's got a real cool site. He makes some homemade ironworks and knives and stuff like that. But you can find it at etsy.com /shop/Willow Ironworks, and that's the son of Dana Martin. And so I believe he's like 15 years old, big old boy, man, not corrupted by this system, this schooling, and that's another part of the propaganda machine is the schooling system, They teach obedience and loyalty, blind loyalty, and it's really a lot of brainwashing. And thank God I quit. So, anyways, Drew Lamb, he's doing Double Cross, like I said, and now he's started. This will be his 4th episode come Sunday. pretty cool. So he owns Pyramid Foods aquaponics farm, and he explores self-sufficient living. So he has some of his guests come with advice about organic farming and gardening and alternative energy, heating and cooling, and affordable home construction. And that was one of the second topic last week was cob building. Fascinating. Also about talking about outdoor survival, water collection, sanitation, cooking, upcycling, and recycling. Hey, look, check out Drew. Let me. I'll grab these links right here, and I'll pop them over. He's on Facebook, Off-Grid Journey, offgridjourney.com, also pyramidpurefoods.com. So, y'all come in. I'll drop them all in one shot right here for y'all. I'd like to check out. Fantastic place to explore some an off-grid journey. Let's see. Cheaper than solar, gravity-powered lights for the developing world.
I saw that the other day.
Pretty neat, huh?
Yeah, they're less than $10 a piece, and they can provide light or charge a phone without having any kind of solar power or anything else. All you need is a weight on the end of a cord.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And it runs a small alternator that runs like 12 volts. It will run an LED light that's bright enough to light a room, and it will charge a cell phone over a 6-hour period.
Yeah, y'all recall a grandfather clock. Some of them were wound, and then some like a cuckoo clock. They had the weights on it, like they had weights on windows, but they'd have weights on this clock, and you'd just like pull it up, and so it would pull. Cogs and gears would turn, and you'd transfer your gears and stuff like that. So anyway, it works on the same principle. Pretty neat. So, goes to say, how do you light your home if you're not connected to the electrical grid? In the developing world, the answer is usually kerosene, a polluting fuel, blah, blah, blah. It's so expensive and dirty. It frequently causes fires. Fire with Coop. Coop, this story's for you. Fire. So, we won't read their propaganda. Obviously, global warming is bad. But you know what? Fossil fuels are still obsolete.
How archaic.
How archaic, indeed. Okay, so anyways, RCB. Did I drop that one already? We'll copy and X out. I think I did. No, I didn't. Here it is. Here it is. For your purveyance. And back to matters of sustainable living through ecology, permaculture, and gardening. And here's a nice Cobb chicken house. So this was rural Spines photo. Said, I have to say this Cobb and straw bale chicken coop is the most awesome chicken coop I've ever seen. I don't know if it talks, but still sounds like it. Pretty neat. Yeah, Cobb and straw bale. I want to build an earth shelter. Place to live. Seaweed used as a sustainable building material. And that's pretty neat. 50 things you should start and stop buying and start making. That'd be a pretty long list, doesn't it? From natural living ideas. Huh. Well, that's probably a pretty good list that you can search at yourself. This is pretty neat. You may soon just spray paint your solar panels. Yeah, I've been hearing about that for a while. All right. Well, back up. Let's go say hi to chat. Everybody got quiet in there. It must be being boring. Yeah. So, speaking of Dana Martin, you know what? She comes up next. Try this at home. So that's coming up in about 41 minutes from now, minus delay. The delay on my end. I got the Buzz Beaver. That's all about marijuana and hemp. But I'm going to continue here with another page that's kind of a divergent of sustainable living, and that's matters of survival and prepping. And tomorrow night we're going to be talking about off-grid, as I mentioned. Let's see, my last post there was June 20th from Prepper Chicks. Surviving off-grid when the stockpile is gone. I was just saying, Tuesday morning. So I got to click here. Protect me, yes, please. And it will ask me a few times. And I will say yes, remove all enclosed, and it'll probably pop up again. Yes, it does. Thank you. Threat has been successfully removed. I have my own private hacker account here. Okay. Yeah, that's from homesteadingandprepping.com, surviving off-grid when the stockpile is gone. So my point was saying is it's a pretty good idea to have a month or two worth of food, if not a year, put away. Oh, here, yeah. Look, this was a topic that I was looking at, and if you ever get bit by a spider, a black widow, or a brown recluse, and even snake bite, is use electrical shock to neutralize the venom. Like a spider bite, you can use something as small as a barbecue grill igniter, and sends that little shock of electricity, you apply it to the bite. They use
that's like 50,000 volts.
Yeah, you don't do anything but just like.
No, I know. Yeah, I know. You can grab a hold of a spark plug wire. It's about the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that was.
Yeah, a snake bite. They use. There's been missionaries that have. They take a stun gun to places where there's no anti-venom for snakes, and if they get bit, apply that, and it kills the venom.
Wow.
Breaks down the chemical compounds. Yep.
Wow. I didn't know that. I'm going to get me a stun gun living out here in the Arizona desert with all these Mojave greens.
Right.
Western diamondbacks and the hog-nosed, what do you call it? The horn-nosed rattler. Of course, he's protected. You can't kill him if he bites you. If you do, you're in trouble, so you might as well go ahead and die.
Don't bite back.
Don't bite back.
So here's a electric shock. This is from venomshock.wiki.com. Electric shock on venomous bites and stings. I've kind of diverged from the propaganda, haven't I?
Yes, I think we have.
Yeah. So for over 60 years, electric shock has been used as first aid in treating venomous bites and stings in the third world countries. There you go, spark plug. Using the spark plug wire of an internal combustion engine to treat scorpion stings is a folkloric remedy that dates back at least to the 1940s. Later in the 80s and 90s, first aid shock therapy studies were published regarding snake by Guderian and Mueller, and in source links there, and spider bites by Osborne, when no medical facilities nor anti-venom are accessible, that is. First aid electric shock has been touted as an acceptable alternative. However, an adequate source and method of delivering the shock still remains a challenge. In regard to stun guns as a source of HV shock, the design, quality, expense, and effectiveness varies considerably between models. And,
so you got to be willing to be hit with a stun gun.
Yeah.
Yum.
So,
that's what I'd like in the morning.
Okay, this is talking about some brand stuff. But anyways, one was on a simulated recluse spider bites and hardened in guinea pigs. In fact, the Paralyzer, this is a brand name, delayed wound healing and resulted in significant larger areas of induration. Now, I personally used shock therapy on a spider bite, and they say it worked for me. Yeah. Okay, so there's some FYIs, and there's a few other I'll grab the, I'll open it back up and I'll grab that link there. Drop it over. And so let me go back here. Here's another one that I'll grab too. It's from Natural News. And electrical stimulation can heal bites and stings, it says. So the reading there for you at your disposal. And prior link to that was June 17th, where matters of survival and prepping shared. UCY.TV's photo live now bright and early at 8 a.m. Eastern and 5 a.m. Pacific on UCY.TV. Prepper Chicks. Prepping for survival. Girls' point of view. Great show. Congrats, Lord. Alrighty. Now, you know where I do want to go, actually, is where you're at. Matters of Justice, Law, and Liberty. Right there. We got like 50-something pages here. This goes back towards topic. This was posted June 23rd. Shared from Cop Block. Oh, this is the one. This is the one I was talking about earlier. Yes, I remember. Jacksonville implements Orwellian police state, going to 1,800 homes looking for drugs and guns. So, video that comes with that. So, it's a bit.ly. I'll grab that link and drop it. There it is. I don't know what that is. Desert Hawk. Why don't you give it a short description? Democracy.info, infographics, USA, U.S., debt, U.S. That's obviously about debt in U.S., right? I reckon. So, yeah, that's nice. This week, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office announced that they would be installing new security camera around the city and knocking on more than 18,000 doors without warrants as a part of an initiative called Operation Ceasefire. So they were going around, I think, looking for drugs and guns. Sheriff John Rutherford, Mayor Alvin Brown, and Councilwoman Denise Lee made the announcement that so the sheriff admitted that many aspects of the program, including the security cameras, would be paid for by money that was taken from victims of the drug war. Wait a minute. Let's read that again. It would be paid for with money that was taken from victims of the drug war? Taken from victims.
I think they worded that improperly.
I know. No. They're exactly right. They are taken from victims of the drug war. Exactly. Wow. Boy, if that's a typo, I don't think it should have been. So, Joe, Sheriff says, I said, by golly, we're going to be using this drug money and we pull out this here neighborhood and protect this here neighborhood. By God, Rutherford says. And, well, I think he might have been from Texas. I don't know that, but I'd assume. Probably not.
That sounds like you're from Carolina.
Well, this is Jacksonville, Florida. Anyways, one thing to know about Florida, the farther south you go, the farther north you are. And you are fully amongst Yankees when you get down to the tip. So, I some good old Southerners up there in northern Florida. And all through the swamps and the backwoods and bayous down there. Let's see, where'd I leave off? In addition to the aspects of the project which are being funded through asset forfeiture. Big can of worms there, isn't it? The department is also asking they're asking for tax funding for over $3 million for new officers. Because we need more victims, people. No, really. How else will this ever work? The stated goal of this program is to decrease violence with more violence. That always works, doesn't it? It's to decrease violent crime, only from the victims, but not actually to decrease violent crime from those bastards that are enforcers of the drug war. No, I mean, just come on, think about it. Look back at Prohibition. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We know who the benefactors are, and that they are the criminals themselves on both sides of that line, whether they're wearing a badge or not. I'm not saying cops are bad. Unfortunately, they are also victims of this propaganda arm of the machine. Quite unfortunate. So, have we collected this one here. X'd out. Bring it over. And drop. So, okay. Hawk says graphic comparison of what the U.S. debt would really look like in $100 bills. Yeah, I've seen that. It's pretty amazing, huh? Yeah. Money's a joke. We talked about that. It's just paper, right?
Fiat currency.
Fiat. Okay. More. Oh, 3 people were reached, yeah. How many likes I got on this page? 78. And I started this page in 2011. So this is a 3-year page. So I've got stuff goes way back. We thought the police were trying to help us. City settles police brutality lawsuit. Constitutional decimation. Decimation. Cops can search your car without warrant in Pennsylvania. Truthandaction.org. Oh, here's a nice one. From Karen Pearson. Tennessee to roll out no refusal. And this comes from before the first cut. And this is back in May. This is a link shared by there. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this is originally where I got the information. So they're to roll out no refusal, blood draw, DUI checkpoints for Memorial Day. Here we go. Qualified immunity is a doctrine in U.S. federal law that arises in cases brought against state officials under 42 U.S.C. Section 1983 and against federal officials under Bevins versus 6 unknown named agents. Why did I put that there? It was obviously something I do not remember. Mythology of the Supreme Court. Yeah, that comes from Double Cross Radio on May 15th. Let's take a look inside, shall we?
Is that Pandora's box? Oh, I know that guy. He owes me money.
Yeah. Yeah, that's from Shali does that impersonation from what was it, Hannibal. Let's take a look inside, shall we? Excuse me. We have an addendum to the safety meeting. So, the mythology of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's recent decision on prayer at government meetings reminds me that Supreme Court session is upon us. I guess I need to skip to the point. And I don't see where it is. I do not recall.
It's only 11 pages long.
Yeah.
You'll find it.
Anyways, there's probably some good information to be pulled out of here. Here's a highlight. The tendency to impose oppressive restraints on private property, to abuse political power, and to refuse to respect or recognize any free sphere outside or beyond the dominion The state is too deeply ingrained in the mentality of those who control the government's apparatus of compulsion and coercion for them ever to be able to resist it voluntarily. I find this kind of fits pretty good with tonight's topic. A liberal government is that's Latin, I'll skip it. Governments must be forced into adopting liberalism by the power of the unanimous opinion of the people, and they could voluntarily become liberals. Oh, that they could voluntarily become liberals is not to be expected. Yeah, that liberal conservative man, that's Tweedledee and Tweedledum. No true difference. Naturally, the court does not limit itself at all, but it knows it is nonetheless limited by public opinion, at least as well as anyone else. The court's strenuous efforts to maintain an aura of majesty and intellectual loftiness that can be seen in its refusal to allow television cameras in its hollow halls or any sort of direct opposition by the public at large. The judges wear academic robes and sit on their high bench. They could just as easily do their jobs in business suits while sitting at the same height as everyone else. Of course, if that were the case, the justices would just look like the glorified county commissioners they are. And the court's propaganda war against the public is essential in maintaining its near total immunity from any meaningful oversight from anyone at all. Perfect. Thanks, Chuck. Chuck Horton from Double Cross.
That goes back to the saying that everybody likes sausage, nobody likes to see how it's made.
Ooh. Count that pig. And more from Cop Block. Autopsy shows Texas cop fired fatal shot from close range into sarcastic students. That's back in March 24th. My. Here's your good one. From Robert Wright. Here's a distinction we shouldn't be proud of. More people are incarcerated in the United States than any other nation in the world. The number of federal inmates has doubled over the past decade, costing taxpayers around $80 billion a year. One reason, mandatory minimum sentences for drug crimes, immigration violations, and other nonviolent offenses. The good news is that while such inflexible punishments have proven popular with politicians and many of their constituents, bipartisan consensus is emerging that they shall take a huge toll, not only upon the incarcerated and their families, but also on communities and taxpayers alike. The Justice Department is now recommending that prosecutors use greater discretion before charging defendants with crimes that come along with mandatory minimum sentences. Attorney General Ag Holder wants to charge minor criminals with lesser crime or pass them to local prosecutors. A better route might be to, through legislation, doing away with mandatory minimums altogether. Bipartisan bills have been introduced in Senate and House to do just that. Thank you for that report. GenocideWatch.org. Oh, this ain't nothing to sneeze at. That's just bad. Things is bad down there. It ain't not just over here, you know. The whole world's gone to shit in the handbasket, and you know what? It's full and stinking. San Jose looks to tap into residents' private surveillance cameras for police use. That's from My Brother's Keeper, January 30th. Chief Mark Kessler. We're going to skip you. You going to shoot me? What's the matter? You scared of something? Put them up, put them up. Private prisons suing states for millions if they don't stay full. Well, that ought to be an incentive.
Hey, yeah, there's incentive there.
Stealing food, one of a disturbing trend of crimes on the rise. Oh, yeah, that was a pretty good one. That came from Pandemonium, December the 2nd of 2013. So, Queensland bike laws. This is a part of my theme of what matters worldwide. So, I do look about the world. Here you go. 37 states allow corporations to get rich off of prison labor. There you go. It's the American way. November 13th, 2013. From Blacklisted News. Thank you, Blacklisted News. Always a good source. And a friend of UCY. One person reached. Oh, boy. That's really good. Not sure if I'm safe now that the cops are here or if I'm now in danger. I am from the government. I'm here to help you. Squirrel. Here's some from Hidden Law History of UK, the Free Man Movement. That comes from YouTube. That comes from November of 2013. My post. Here's inmates and prison guards watch a documentary on the failed war of drugs together and find agreement. Can't we just all get along? That comes from Michael Dusant Jensen, a friend of mine that I met through Ian Jacklin. Been a guest of mine and Ian's on many occasions with Ian. So, U.S. says no charges for border agent who shot Mexican teen. Report says he's just a damn Mexican. Charges dismissed. Oh, I made that last part up. Here's a video. DHS at internal checkpoint breaks driver's window. Ooh, seizes all his stuff and doesn't charge him anything. What's that? You got donuts in there? Hey, roll that window down. I want them donuts. Man, that's a white powdery substance on there. That's gonna have to be checked out. You better open that window. Open the window. You know, a couple do anything for a donut. Donut. Jury nullification. Everyone needs to know this. If you're a juror about to send, this comes from Ian Jacklin, by the way. If you were a juror about to send a man to prison for 20 years because he grew medical marijuana that was curing people of cancer, you could say you don't believe in the law and say not guilty. Oh, you can say you don't believe in that law. That's the jury nullification. Very important. Everyone knows that. So spread it around. The judges and lawyers won't tell you. That's correct. Thanks, Ian Jackman. Let me jump over and so I can grab that for you. Jury nullification occurs when a jury returns a verdict of not guilty, despite its belief that the defendant is guilty of the violation charge. The jury, in effect, nullifies a law that it believes is either immoral or wrongly applied to the defendant whose fate they are charged with deciding. When has jury nullification been practiced? The most famous case is the 1935 trial of John Peter Zinger, charged with printing seditious libels of the government of the colony in New York. Despite the fact that he clearly printed alleged libels, the only issue the court said the jury was free to decide, as the court deemed the truth or falsify the statements to be irrelevant. The jury nonetheless returned a verdict of not guilty. Jury nullification at other times in our history, when the government has tried to enforce morally repugnant or unpopular laws. In the early 1800s, nullification was practiced in cases brought under the Alien and Sedition Act. In the mid-1800s, northern juries practiced nullification in prosecutions brought against individuals accused of harboring slaves in violation of fugitive slave laws. In the Prohibition era of the 1930s, many juries practiced nullification in prosecutions brought against individuals accused of violating alcohol control laws. Okay, so about that here. 4:44. 16 minutes left here, and I need a shot of water.
Friday, you had a lingualube?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
I guess that's fun. Yeah. Worldwide arrest warrants for Bush
All right.
and Obama.
That's
I'd like
old.
to, yeah. That's July the 5th, 2013.
Oh. They were crying for his arrest back in what? Oh,
They're all war
08.
criminals. All war criminals. Here's a 4th of July 2013 post, a status by Alan Jimersons. Two of the focuses, if we are to realize comprehensive migrant and domestic labor justice rather than dangerous political expediency that ultimately will primarily benefit already deep-pocket corporations, must be self-education among migrants and migrant advocates as to what is behind illegal immigration and what reform really is, and what we must focus on solidarity. Advocacy groups concerned about
where's all the blue stuff?
where'd it go? Advocacy reform about border deaths cannot sacrifice domestic workers who are entitled to job safety, good wages, and good benefits. Women wanted to be reunited with their husbands, and their countries cannot sacrifice guest workers. People concerned about guest workers cannot ignore Americans' militarized border and migrant deaths. People wanting dreamer access to citizenship cannot sacrifice those young people's siblings and parents. We must hear the cries of all the oppressed, and we must shoulder up one another's burdens. Otherwise, any hope for justice is doomed. Now, is that not right? Very, very good case in point. What is America? What's this symbol? Used to be, envision that lady standing out there in the river on that island. You can see her as you drive over the Brooklyn Bridge. That's where I've seen the Statue of Liberty from. Give us you're tired, you're rich, you're poor. If our country, the people running our country, and that have channeled the military to their bidding to go kill people and bomb them back into the Stone Age, or as near to it as possible, to take the resources for this corporatocracy. It's criminal. And these people in charge of that run our government are criminals. You know what? They might call me a criminal for my speech against them. Does that make me a criminal? No. Because these are my words, these are my thoughts, and I have the right to express them. And I think there's a preponderance of evidence that there is a lot of dirty, rotten people that are running this country and that are running the world, and they need to be held accountable. Yeah. You know what? I wish I'd have set up something to play of iPod download, Larkin Bros. Pretty good stuff. I don't have time to go and grab it. So going to I have a matters of music and entertainment because my theme is what matters worldwide, and there's a lot of matters, and I have a partial list. Matters of health pro se. do it yourself. We just came from matters of justice, law, and liberty. We got matters of art, photography, and beauty. That really matters. Because if we really lived in a world where we were free to keep what it is we produced and earned, we'd have quite an abundance. But instead, the majority of our labor is stolen from us. Upward of more than 90% at this point in time, incrementally. They've taken it penny by penny. We all had that dollar, and it was all a couple of rolls of pennies, and they come in. Well, we'll need a penny for this and a penny for that. And pretty soon, we're down to clutching for those last few pennies. But hey, we're not going to give up. These little discs of metal. I mean, how does this represent the true wealth and potential, the resources that we have as what we produce or what we procure, and then we've got to pay tribute. Hail Caesar. Yeah, it is Hail Caesar. Bloody hell. I really hope we're coming to a point in history where we can collectively change this. Very important that we stay vigilant. Boy, do I think about ducking my head? Yeah, but I've had so many knocks on the noggin that I guess it's so thick-headed it doesn't hardly faze me anymore, right? Well, like I said, more and more it seems like, we're kind of wasting our time, it seems, doesn't it? Here's a good page, Matters of Science, Technology, and Computer Savvy. I got Matters of Evolution and Creation Science. Of course, we're all prejudiced, so I might be a little biased there, but I try to post both sides of the issue there. Another page, Matters of Faith. I got Matters of Travel. Hemp, chemtrails, scientific facts and discoveries. The Buzz Beaver. Oh. Such a cute little feller. All red-eyed and such. So, 8 minutes left. I did have a little help. So, I was determined that to do 2 hours. But I hope for a call.
I wish I could have been a little more help.
You're great. You're great. Here's the Buzz Beaver. More states moving to legalize industrial hemp farming.
Right on.
Indeed.
We've needed that for a long time.
From the Daily Chronic, New York lawmakers pass hemp bill, receives only 2 no votes.
Aha.
Here is SRS biodiesel. It's a downloadable brochure. I think I got this from JJ Against the Wall. Let's see here. Let me go grab the link here. So this is for making your cannabis oil. I had more information somewhere on the CBCs and cannabinoids, THC, and so forth. And it's probably just a little further down. So here's that link. If anybody is legally able to produce their cannabis and for medicines, and there's a way right there. It's been a bit pretty dangerous of late. Used to, the joke was finally somebody died because of marijuana, and it was a truckload dumped over on somebody. But sadly, people are amateur chemists, and they're cooking this oil off in dangerous conditions. Or I think there's probably some safe methods. I heard a rice cooker method where you don't have to worry about blowing up. So unfortunately, there has been some deaths associated with extracting these compounds from the cannabis plant. So solvent extraction is a process which involves extracting oil from oil-bearing material by treating with a low boiler solvent, as opposed to extracting the oils by mechanical pressing methods such as expellers, hydraulic presses, and so forth. The solvent extraction method recovers almost all the oils and leaves behind only about 0.5% to 0.7% residual oil in the raw material. In the case of mechanical pressing, the residual left in the oil cake may be anywhere from 6 to 14%. The solvent extraction method can be applied directly to any low oil content raw materials. It can also be used to extract pre-pressed oil cakes obtained from high oil content materials because of the high percentage of recovered oil. Solvent extraction has become the most popular method of extracting oils and fats. Fat is one of the essential compounds of the human diet. Therefore, the demand for oils. No, so I may be off here. This may not have been what I thought, but it may also relate. So certainly I think it does there. Give some kind of science to it. Yeah. Anyways, there's that. on down. Crime down, revenue up in Colorado since state started marijuana legalization.
All right, good news.
Ooh, that's a pretty picture from Matthew Stevens. He's a friend on Facebook. Has been into liberty and permaculture and other things. Lots of groups he has on plants and their benefits, qualities, and similar related subjects. House votes to stop medical marijuana raids in legal states, from activist post. U.S. votes to prohibit Department of Justice from interfering with states' medical marijuana or industrial hemp. That's from the Normal blog. Normal. Why be normal? I've always said. So yeah, here's a video on how to make a small batch of Rick Simpson oil. You can find plenty of those links on YouTube, and by doing your favorite internet search. So I'm going to hang up on myself on my phone. Been on there all that time.
I saw that earlier.
Oh, I knew it was on. Yeah, I left it just in case, but we got 3 minutes left coming up. So, hey, Dana Martin's coming up next. I invite you to stay tuned. Hey, Joel's dropped in the chat. Good to see you. More great programming always right here on UCY.TV. I'd like to thank everybody for hanging out with me. I'm glad to fill in for Josh, Anti-Tyranny News Radio. Love UCY. A lot of great people involved right here, so appreciate everybody's hard work. Joel, especially you. It's a great day in the neighborhood. I think we've got about a minute to go. So, again, everybody listening downstream, I'd like to invite you to UCY.TV. Also, you can find us on YouTube. Visit Pigmine News. Go to UCY.homepage. Look across the top at all the great sites up there. We have Earth and Sky page. Pretty cool. And if you're buying on Amazon, click on the UCY store link and run your link through there to your search to get to what you're trying to buy. And a few pennies will come over to help you for cost at UCY.TV, which is, significant. We also have headline news and headline videos. There's the homepage, schedule on the shows. I think we're somewhere around 40 shows now. Incredible network. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for listening in. I actually did a 2-hour program, if you can believe it. After you're doing radio, I ought to be able to do that, right? Yeah, Jill says more coming, too. Awesome. You bet. So, we're going to be getting some music here. And I will say, love and peace, y'all. Stay tuned for Dana Martin coming up next. UCY.TV. Try this at home. Dana Martin next.